All right. Happy Monday, guys. We are 2 weeks into March and we have a guest speaker tonight, so I'm not going to take up too much time on announcements. Just want to go over a few things before we turn it over to Stefanie here. So I will go ahead. If you guys haven't muted already, go ahead and mute your screens. I didn't even make this like presentation, but hold on here. All right. You guys see my screen? It's not where I want it to be. All right. So real quick, I pulled out the February board. It took a little while to update. I know there were like some lingering points, so I didn't even mess with doing week 1 of March. So here are the 2 boards for the KB and OneFitFam, and our total coaches added between the 2 teams was 50 coaches, which is awesome. We had Kirsten over on the KB led last month with SC points, and Leanne, bless her heart, that girl gave it her all for the Morning Meltdown 100 group. Didn't get the test group, but I think that might have been her best month ever. I know she was pushing hard for that. And I actually have not even seen a list come out for that. I don't know if anyone else has, but I have not seen what the final numbers were for that Morning Meltdown 100 group. But I know Leanne gave it her all. Couple things as we're going into March here. Keep in mind, guys, we still have 1 more week of the master or the coach, what would it be called? Like coach access for Ultimate Portion Fix. So there's so many things going on. I know all the different teams are kind of promoting different things. We kicked off a Fitbet today. Our Fitbit pot, I don't even know, Jennifer's on, she can give the final number, but we ended up close to probably $1,900 in the pot, which was awesome. Really climbed over the weekend. So I'm ready to switch gears now. I did order Ultimate Portion Fix when it came out last week, but honestly, I hadn't done anything with it personally yet. So I'm going to be flipping gears to promoting this along with coaching, because when you really think about it, we have kind of a little leg up with the coaching opportunity in Ultimate Portion Fix, because this gives you a different avenue to promote coaching. So it's not just that, they're revamping the Portion Fix, but as a coach, you have the ability to get access to the certification and master coaching series. And I know one of my girlfriends is a nutritionist. And when I had posted that I enrolled in this certification program, she immediately asked me, who are you getting certified with? She does a national thing, and I shared with her that it's something that Beachbody's providing to us now. And when I thought about it, I was like, that's really cool that they're giving us this education piece without having to go become a certified nutritionist or a certified, all the extra training. I know when my friend did her nutritionist stuff, that girl studied for weeks and months on end to get it. And it's different. I'm not saying that we are now nutritionists or personal trainers or anything with this, but I do think it gives you another ability to market yourselves, to train people, letting them know that you actually have taken the time to understand the nutrition piece. Because when it comes down to it, obviously we all know at this point, nutrition is what's driving the results, not just the amazing program. So you can really lean into that. And I did share the slide here. This was I think this might have even been in the last time whenever we did our group on this, but just make sure you guys have your timeline set out. Our exclusive window ends next Sunday. So customers are able to purchase March 18th, and then the actual fix workouts are done starting April 1st. I've seen people doing this different ways. There's a week break between 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme. I've seen some people who actually aren't even starting their group until April 8th, which allows them to do 6 straight weeks of Fix followed by Fix Extreme without taking that week break in between, versus doing it all live time with Autumn. They're basically going to be on a week lag so that they can do 6 weeks back to back. It doesn't matter, however it works for you. Just make sure you take some time, sit down with your March calendar. Are you going on the cruise? How's that going to impact what you're inviting to that week? I know for me, I'm going to focus more on coaching, not inviting to challenge groups while I'm on that trip with my family. So just however it's going to work for you, just make sure you have your plan in place so that you can leverage this to the best of your ability. And then obviously, even though our coach exclusive window ends the 18th, you can continue using this all month long. And as we go, letting people know about the opportunity to enroll as a coach and get that extra leverage with the certification and master coaching series. So that's all I had. Katie, I think you're on. Did you have any other announcements or anything you wanted to share?
Hi, friend. No, I actually do. I do not think I do. I have my notebook here. No, I don't. I added to my team page just the March plan for Ultimate Portion Fix. It's in the team page files section. I went live and shared a little bit more about that tonight. I know that I am hosting a business opportunity call on Wednesday nights with our March mentee group. And you guys are all more than welcome to invite to that as well. We keep it really, really general. So it might, it really is, anyone is welcome to come. So that's all. I can share the link in the comment section though.
All right, awesome. Jennifer, I'm going to let you introduce our guest speaker because you are the one who got her to talk on our call tonight. So I'm going to turn it to you, and then can't wait to hear from you, Stefanie.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. I have the great pleasure of introducing my friend, Stefanie. We met in a mastermind group last year that we did with Josh Coates, and I just really got to know her more, and she's just a really great person and an outstanding coach. And she will forever be known as Steph with an F to me because of that group. But it was just really such an exciting year watching her just bloom and be on fire as a coach. And she had shared with me one of the changes that she made was she really went from focusing on herself and her numbers to really pouring into her team and just really creating that team culture that she wanted, which was just awesome. So Stefanie's got a lot of accolades to her name too. She is an 8-star coach in her, or 8-star diamond in her first business center, 1-star in her second business center. She's also an SC10 All-Star Legend, and she's a 2019 Elite Coach, and her team was ranked number 63 in the entire company, which is freaking amazing. Congratulations. And Steph is going to talk to us tonight about advancing diamonds. I'm excited to hear what she's got to say.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me and taking the time to listen. I hope that something I say you can take away tonight. And it sounds weird hearing all those accolades because it's not anything that when I started this business, not anything I believed could happen, not anything that I thought I was capable of. And so just know that if you feel like that right now, like you are so capable, you just have to believe it. So I'll tell you a little bit. I'll start with just a little bit of my story. Someone has a TV on in the background. I'm sorry. It's just like trying. It's like it's hard to concentrate. I'm sorry. And so I started coaching July. Well, I signed up as a discount coach, right? July 2000. Oh my gosh, what are we? 15. July 2015. And, I went into it. I was a hot mess. Like I had 3 kids. I had chronic IBS. I was on medications. I was on a heart monitor. Like you name it. It was bad. I went through fast food daily almost. When I did exercise, I would cancel it out with my fast food, drank pop. And I remember the day before I signed up to coach, I had an IBS attack, and my husband had to undress me and dress me because I was in the backyard laying in a bathing suit and had to rush me to the ER. And that was like a trigger moment for me. Like, what the heck am I doing? And so I so believe that it was the universe like putting this in to place right when I needed it, because that next day I saw my coach's post. I had no idea what she was doing, but I was one of those that I was just like, okay, I saw your transformation picture. What are you doing? You look amazing. You look like you feel good. And kind of the rest is history. I signed up. I was probably, I always say follow-ups are what my business is made off of. She didn't really have to follow up with me. I was probably one of those easy ones where I'm just like, just tell me what to do and I will do it. And Shakeology changed my life. I am off my meds. I am out of pain. So I will not go a day without drinking that. So that's kind of when I started realizing that, well, yes, it is a little bit, it's a little bit of money up front each month, right? And so I wanted to start paying it forward and get my Shakeology paid for. And that was all that I wanted to do. I had my master's in social work. I was working at a children's hospital, and my dream job, turns out wasn't my dream job, but I was just content. Like I was just, I shouldn't say I was content. I was just living day to day, going through the motions, and didn't really have any, I had done the things. I had the kids. I, went to college. I got a job that everybody thought was amazing, but I was like empty inside. And so when I started coaching, and just kind of was introduced to the community and the team, that's when everything changed for me. Because I didn't really have a whole lot of friends that I was really close to, that believed in health and that believed, in bettering yourself. And so I really needed that culture. And once I became immersed in it with coaching, it just completely changed my life. I remember the day that I walked out of my job knowing that 100% this is what I wanted to be doing full time. And I made it happen. Pockets of time, I did what I needed to do to be able to walk away from that job. And, I can answer questions about that later if you have questions about how I did that, working in pockets of time. I know there's a lot of different ways to do it. But anyway, I walked away from my job in March 2017 to be a full-time coach. And I just completely fell in love with this. And it wasn't until, January 2018. So I kind of I was a 1-star, I was a fallen 1-star, and I was just missing something. And what I discovered was I was telling everybody who joined my team and my challengers to do personal development, and I was not. That was the missing link for me. January 2018, we started I was a diamond coach, fallen 1-star, so I was a diamond coach. And we ended the year as an 8-star team. And so it's possible, you guys. You just have to believe it enough, and you have to do all the things every day, not just sometimes, and it will happen. So that's kind of a little bit about my story, how I got started. And I will also preface this by saying that last year, 2018, was probably the hardest personal year I have ever had in my entire life. My dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. My uncle died. My cousin died. It was an absolute, I could have easily went back to my tendencies of staying in bed, crying, feeling bad for myself, whatever it is. But instead of that, I leaned into this. And I challenge you guys to, when you're going through hard times, don't take your foot off of this, because this is a blessing and this is a gift that the more I pour into it and the more people I help, the more it pulls me out of that dark place, the more it pulls me out of, not wanting to get out of bed in the mornings. And so it makes me so sad when I see coaches go through something and then they just pull away, completely just shut down. Because I will tell you, and this happened to one of my coaches, 100% you will have to start over, because you have lost that trust with yourself and with those people watching you. And so that's what I did. January 2018, I leaned in and I did every single vital behavior every day. I decided to, and we hear this all the time, but I was still doing it. I was comparing myself lots. I was watching all the top coaches. I was in the mastermind. I was actually in a different mastermind with Josh at this time, and everybody was hitting high SC numbers, and it was stressing me out. And I just stopped loving what I was doing. And so I had to back out of that. I had to take the numbers away. Of course, Success Club is always a non-negotiable, but I didn't need to be hitting SC 60. It just wasn't in my heart to do that every month. And so I took that pressure off of myself, and I decided that if I wanted longevity in this, then I needed to build a team that wanted this as much as I did. And so that brings me to my team culture. We are extremely, extremely close. We have become best friends. We talk every day. I have threads that we are in that I have broken up based on like rank that we're in. But that was one thing that I was missing the first year. I had coaches, yes, but we were just kind of like business partners. We weren't, we didn't tell each other our struggles. This whole last year I shared when I was going through something. They knew the minute I was going through something that I needed them to step up and help me, and help me through this, basically, because we help each other. So that's another thing. I would encourage you to be vulnerable with your team and let them know when you are struggling, because if they look at you and think that you're perfect and you never have struggles, then it's going to be really hard for them to relate to that and continue to push through the hard times. So one thing that I started last year was it's a diamond internship, and I really enjoyed it because it helped me learn more about each member of my team and really what they wanted out of this. So what that was is I put application in my team page, and they had to be Emerald. They had to hit Success Club the previous month. That was just kind of a, criteria. And then it was just an application where they had to answer questions like, why do you want to be Diamond? Did you hit, what have your last chance looked at? Why do you love coaching and stuff like that? And honestly, I will tell you that reading those applications, it was super easy to pick out the coaches who were ready for the internship because they took time on them. They took time explaining why they wanted Diamond, why they loved this so much versus just one sentence answers. And so I picked two, and, I've heard other people who've done something similar picking one, but I liked two because it was an extra layer of accountability for them. It was that extra push. Like I remember the first one I did, Steph, she hit Diamond, and Kayla was like, no, she didn't. And then like the next week she did. And so it was just fun. And again, we met twice a week on Zoom for that month. It's a month-long thing. And then, if they hit it, they get prizes and stuff. But it's really not me doing much. It's me leading them and holding them accountable to, are you filling out your tracker every day? Where are you at? We had, a thread going and stuff like that too. But that really went well. I need to do it again this year. I'm going to do it in April. But, Steph and Kayla both went Diamond, and then the next month I did it, those two went Diamond. And, and so it really went well. And I think it was that level of accountability and just having one-on-one time with me and getting to know me better and getting to know them as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions or send you the application that I made for that. I have a so as far as recruiting goes, I talk about coaching to everybody. I don't just pick out like rock star coaches or rock star challengers and say that, they would be amazing, because I wasn't an amazing challenger. And I don't feel like that has to be, I hear so many times you're already doing what you're doing in the challenge groups. You could be a coach. Well, of course, yes, I obviously invite those people too. However, invite anybody and everybody who is in this journey with me, because what coaching did for me was helped me become a good challenger. It held me accountable. So anytime anybody's saying I'm struggling with staying accountable or motivated, I'm like, girl, you need to try coaching, get a couple people under you, and we'll rock this together type thing. I invite on my stories to coaching almost every day. I'm vulnerable on my stories. So if you guys are not on stories and sharing your heart, like, you need to be on there like yesterday, because it's so, it's just transformed my business. Stories has. And I think it sets us apart. You know, people can scroll through feeds and see all these posts, but they don't get to know, they go to our stories to get to know who we are. And so I can't tell you how many times people have reached out and said, okay, I'm ready to sign up. And then I find out they've been, you know, following other coaches, and I'm like, well, why me? Like, what made you choose me? And it's because I show that my dog is throwing up underwear. I show that my kids are all over the place during my workout, that I cry on it sometimes. You know, if I'm having a rough day, I'll share that I'm struggling. And so it's just about being vulnerable that way. And I feel like the more perfect we act on there, and if we show just Beachbody, if we show just workouts and Shakeology, then yes, nobody's going to think they can be a coach, because it looks too perfect, right? And so I do invite through all avenues. I used to do forms, but I don't really do that in my posts. I don't really do that anymore. I just do a lot of messaging. If anybody on Instagram is into fitness, I tell them right up, straight up, you would be an amazing coach. Have you thought about it? You know, or I don't use the word coach. I use the word, online health and fitness mentor. But I just really pour into my challengers the belief before they believe it. You know, I have so many coaches who are doing amazing now, who at first were like, I could never do that. But the more I invited them and the more I showed them. And the one thing that I do is I share when someone joins as a coach from our challenge group, like when they convert over to a working coach, I shout them out in our challenge group and I say, oh my gosh, look, she just became a coach and is paying this forward. And that's kind of been a little bit of FOMO for people, too, in that they see that, oh, this girl that I've been connecting with in this challenge group is now coaching. Like, maybe I could do it too. So I know, what else do you want me to cover? I know that you want me to cover team culture and the diamond internship. Is there anything else specific that you want me to cover? Or do you guys have questions?
I'm like writing down all sorts of good things. I love what you said about the challenge. I was the worst challenger. Like, I don't even think I posted for the first 9 days. I didn't make a meal plan. I didn't actually follow the things, but I was doing little things that I began to see, like, oh, like there's something here. So that is such a reminder to me. With the diamond internship is something I'm planning to do for April. So super curious about that. When Jennifer had shared that with me, I was like, that is genius. And I really like it. When you met with them, like, was it more send me your bat? What are you doing? Like, were you giving them ideas? Like, what'd you do on those bi-weekly calls?
So, so the first one, we laid out, they drew out their legs and, where they are, and wrote down all the names of the people that they're going to have sign up to get them to diamond. Because, so many times I do this too. So many times I think we tell ourselves that we're inviting everybody, but we're not. We're skirting around it, or we're like, well, I posted that and she liked it, so she knows what I'm doing. But they really don't. And so I made them write down the names of people that they're going to invite, for real. And so we did that the first call. And then we talked about the activity tracker. Every night they shared their tracker in the thread, done, and then sent a picture. And then, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't anything that I didn't do trainings, because I feel like if you're in that, you know what you need to do. It's just a matter of doing it. So it was just meeting and telling each other where we're at. I've sent all these invites. I have all these follow-ups left to do. I'm getting ghosted. You know, we talked about struggles. And, you know, I shared my struggles for the week with them too, just so it was more relatable. But yeah, it was just an extra push face to face. And, you know, I think it would even work if you had like 3 or 4, but I really liked the 2 because I got to know them and they really got to become good friends too for that month. So yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Does anyone else have any other questions? And then did you run it all year? Like, did you keep it going like every month running it?
I did. Let's see, when did I start it? I probably started it in March, and then I think so I did March, April, May, and then August, and then September. Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't do it every month. I probably wouldn't do it every month. It'd probably be like an every other month type thing.
Okay.
But because it is kind of time consuming with the 2 calls a week, and like I said, when I explained this to them, I didn't want them to pick, or I didn't want to pick somebody who was literally just saying, I want to be diamond to get to the next rank. Like that doesn't, you know what I mean? So the ones that really went in depth. And actually at the end of last year, I did do one, and it was all of my downline like were invited to apply because, you know, pushing, and that's how it's going to be this year, because pushing for elite again, we need those star diamonds. And so that's going to be a lot more of my focus this year too.
So you did just PS last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, because again, we started at diamond and I needed to get to 5-star for elite. And so, yeah, that's what we were pushing for. But then we kind of surpassed that, and now it's now it's building leaders. Now I want my girls to like feel that and have those accomplishments and stuff.
Well, that's awesome. What an amazing year.
Yeah, it's
that
been
really is impressive.
I'm so proud of them. But I was talking on, you know, my team call last night, and I think so many, and I don't know how many of you on here are new coaches or whatever, but I think so many new coaches get caught up in I need to know everything. I need to learn everything before I start and do. And I'll tell you that's the biggest mistake you can make, because that I tell when I have new coach calls, I tell them every time. I've failed in this business a lot. I've failed forward a ton. But the one thing that I feel like I didn't fail at was ever since March 2016, I have posted every single day. I've shown up every day, and that has earned so much trust from my followers. Even though they were like kissing my Shakeology cup and like awful posts,
I had this
nobody engaged. I had to tell my best friend, like for the first like 6 months, I messaged my best friend to go like my stuff because nobody was. So just, you know, get that out of your head and know that it will happen and people are watching basically.
So I like to ask, I'm always curious, what's your onboarding process? Like when you sign a new coach or here's a self-paced training, it's on Facebook, it's a separate group, it's in a team page, it's a form. How do you do your
Okay, so here is me in a nutshell. I am like the most unorganized person. I don't have pretty graphics. I don't have like a Coach University. That's not me. And if I were put through a Coach University, I would not have continued. That's just the people that's me, and that's who I attract. And so I needed more personal. So I do getting started right calls, and I have a packet that I send them that's just kind of lays out the essentials, right? Like the need to knows. And then I put them through the self-paced first 30 trainings in the back office, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to miss something. I don't want to overwhelm them. And I feel like they're really well done trainings. And my upline didn't have a university or anything like that. And so that's just how I learned. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it had I went through one of those.
Cool. I like it. Does anyone have any other questions? You did great. It's super helpful. I love just hearing how other people did it. I feel like you just did the work. You just put your head down and did the work.
Yeah. It's just so easy to like not do the things every day and then say I'll do them tomorrow and then don't, and then the next day, and then it just adds up. And so it's just I heard this somewhere, and it was like the small, oh gosh, what is it? The small mundane tasks that we do every day add up to momentum, which adds up to miracles. And I think that's so freaking true. Like, you can get so caught up in the mundane tasks and be, not do it every day. But if you don't, then your miracle's never going to come. So
I like that. Well, I don't have any other questions. Oh, Robin, what's your favorite PD resources books?
Hang on, I'm getting a boomerang real quick. Okay, so I just read 6 Months to Six Figures, and I absolutely love that book. It spoke to me, and it's not like all about making a ton of money. It's just about leveling up and surrounding yourself with people that, want what's best for you, and are, like it talks about how if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room and stuff like that. So it was really good. Of course, Girl Wash Your Face. I just started Girl Stop Apologizing, so I'm not sure about that one yet. But the ones
that today, and I'm reading it, and it had the whole, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said that in there. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and so but if I go back to like my first days of when I actually started PD, it was Compound Effect and The Slight Edge. Like, it teaches you that the small, tiny things you do every day, like I just talked about, are super important. And so, I feel like you just got to find that one that meets your needs at the time. And the 6 Months to Six Figures was what I needed. And I was like so many aha moments in there. So that's probably my favorite one.
Cool. I haven't heard of that one, actually. So.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my gosh.
No. I wrote that one down. I have not read that one or heard of it. So.
Oh, it's so good.
As long as it's on Audible, because I don't read.
Well, I read, but so I'm assuming it is on Audible. I don't know.
It probably is.
I'm like I said, I'm unorganized. My brain is unorganized. If I'm not sitting and reading, I won't pay attention.
What was your mundane momentum miracle quote?
Oh, the small mundane daily tasks add up to momentum, which adds up to your miracles.
Thank you. And then how much time do you spend on PD daily on average?
So 15 minutes every single morning while I'm drinking my Energize. And then, if I'm going through something, or it's, I'm having a rough time in the business, or I'm struggling in some way, I add on like a half hour at night, but 15 for sure.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with your little minions all around to come and speak to us. I know that I really appreciate it, and I am super excited to implement a diamond internship for our team as well. And I know Katie kicked off one for her team this month. So
awesome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys all for getting on. I will get this uploaded and into the team pages tonight.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Bye. Thanks again.
Yep.